The seven of us at Ashwood House.
Now,
The wine glass shattered against the marble floor at exactly 9:17 p.m., the same time it had happened 15 years ago. We all turned to look at Rebecca, expecting to see her hand trembling, perhaps overcome by the weight of being back in this house. But Rebecca wasn't holding a glass. Rebecca wasn't even standing. She was slumped in the leather wingback chair by the fireplace, her head tilted at an angle that made my stomach turn, a thin line of blood trailing from her nose to her chin like a crack in porcelain.
Becca!
Nate's voice cracked like we were 17 again.
Becca, come on.
But we all knew. The way you know things in houses like this, houses that hold their breath and wait, houses that remember everything, especially the things you've tried so hard to forget. Marcus was the first to move, pressing his fingers to her neck, though we could all see her eyes, those bright green eyes that had once made Jamie write terrible poetry, staring at nothing, at everything, at the shadow in the corner that looked almost like a teenage girl in a white dress if you didn't look directly at it.
She's gone.
Marcus said, his voice clinical, detached, the doctor in him taking over, even here, even now.
But this doesn't... The blood isn't right. The position isn't...
Someone killed her,
Emma whispered, and the house seemed to exhale around us, a sound like satisfaction.
3 days earlier.
The email had come from Rebecca, of course. It always had to be Rebecca who brought us back together. Rebecca who couldn't let the dead stay buried.
Subject: Ashwood House. One last time. I know we promised we'd never go back, but the estate lawyers called. My grandmother left it to me and they need it cleared out before demolition. I can't do this alone. Please, we need to face what happened. All 7 of us. One weekend, that's all I'm asking. We owe her that much. Rebecca.
I'd stared at that email for 3 hours, cursor hovering over the delete button. 15 years since we'd last stood in Ashwood House. 15 years since Lily fell from the tower window. 15 years of pretending we didn't know why. But trauma is like gravity. You can deny it exists all you want, but it still pulls you down. One by one, we all said yes. Marcus from his practice in Boston, Nate from his failed marriage in Phoenix, Emma from her art studio in Portland, where she painted nothing but windows, always windows, never showing what lay beyond them. Jamie from whatever bar he was currently drinking himself to death in. Daniel from his perfect suburban life that looked like a magazine spread and felt like a mausoleum. And me from my apartment full of unfinished manuscripts, all of them about a house I couldn't name and a girl I couldn't save. 7 friends who'd once been inseparable. 6 survivors carrying the weight of the 7th like stones in our pockets, drowning in broad daylight.
Now,
We need to call the police.
Daniel said, already pulling out his phone. The screen flickered, went black. He tried again. Nothing,
the landline.
Emma suggested, but we all knew what we'd find. The same thing we'd found that night 15 years ago when we'd tried to call for help as Lily's body lay twisted in the garden below. Cut wires, and the terrible understanding that some stories insist on ending before you can call for help. Jamie laughed, that bitter sound he'd perfected over a decade of whiskey breakfasts.
So we're doing this again? Trapped in the murder house with a killer among us? Christ, it's like she planned it.
don't.
Nate warned.
Don't what? Point out that Rebecca brought us all back here? That she's been obsessed with Lily's death for 15 fucking years? That maybe. He stopped, looking at Rebecca's body. Oh shit.
We all realized it at the same moment. If Rebecca was dead, then whoever killed her was one of us. The 6 of us left, standing in a circle like we had that night, each wondering which of our friends had finally broken under the weight of what we'd done. Or what we'd failed to do. 15 years ago. Lily Ashwood had been the 8th member of our group, if you could call her a member. She was Rebecca's cousin, fragile as spun glass and twice as sharp. She lived in the tower room of Ashwood House, rarely came to school, existed more as rumor than person. But that summer, the summer before senior year, Rebecca had insisted we include her.
She needs friends, Rebecca had said. She needs normal.
But Lily Ashwood had never been normal. She talked to empty rooms and laughed at jokes no one else could hear. She knew things she couldn't know, that Marcus was gay before he'd admitted it to himself, that Emma's father was having an affair, that Jamie's brother had died in Afghanistan 3 hours before the official notification arrived.
The house tells me things,
She'd say, smiling that ethereal smile.
It shows me what was and what will be. Time isn't a line here. It's a web, and we're all just flies caught in it.
We'd thought she was eccentric, poetic, maybe a little crazy, but harmless. We were wrong about the harmless part. Now,
We should stick together.
Marcus said, ever practical even with his hands shaking.
No one goes anywhere alone.
Like that helped Rebecca.
Jamie muttered, but he moved closer to the group. The lights flickered. Of course they did. This was Ashwood House, where electricity had always been more suggestion than fact. And in the darkness between, I saw her, Lily, standing at the top of the stairs, wearing the same white dress she'd worn that night. But when the light steadied, it was only Emma, her pale sweater catching the chandelier's glow. Did anyone else see? I started.
See what?
Daniel asked too quickly, the way you ask when you did see but don't want to admit it. Nothing, just the lights. But Emma was looking at me, and I knew she'd seen it too. The way Lily used to stand there, watching us with those dark eyes that seemed to hold the weight of every secret this house had swallowed.
We need to search the house.
Nate said.
Make sure we're alone.
We're not alone.
Emma whispered.
We've never been alone in this house.
Then,
The party had been Rebecca's idea. Her grandmother was in Europe. The house was ours for the weekend, and we were 17 and invincible. But Lily hadn't wanted us there.
You don't understand.
She'd said, pacing her tower room while we set up speakers in the parlor below.
The house doesn't like strangers. It doesn't like noise. It wants to sleep, and you're waking it up.
Houses don't want things, Lily.
Rebecca had said, patient but tired.
It's just a building.
Is it?
Lily had walked to the window, the one that overlooked the garden.
Then why does it whisper your names at night? Why does it show me how each of you dies?
We'd laughed it off, but I remembered how Jamie had asked, half joking.
So how do I die?
Lily had looked at him for a long moment.
Drowning, but not in water.
2 hours later, Jamie would be so drunk he'd nearly choke on his own vomit. If Marcus hadn't found him, hadn't turned him on his side, Lily's prediction would have come true. But by then, Lily was already dead.
Now,
We found the first message written in dust on the mirror in the upstairs hallway. Remember what you did,
Someone's fucking with us.
Daniel said, wiping it away with his sleeve. But his hand was shaking, and we all saw how the words seemed to reappear for just a moment before fading completely. The second message was carved into the dining room table. 7 went up, 1 came down,
That's not even true.
Jamie protested.
We all came down, all 7 of us. Lily was the only one who...
Who what?
Emma asked.
Who fell? Who jumped? Who was pushed?
The silence that followed was heavy as stone. We'd never talked about it, not really. The official story was suicide. Lily was troubled, everyone knew that. The tox screen showed a cocktail of her grandmother's prescriptions. She'd jumped, case closed. But we'd all been in the tower room with her that night, all 7 of us, playing a game of truth or dare that had turned vicious, the way games do when there's too much history and not enough honesty. And then Lily had stood on the windowsill, laughing that wild laugh, saying,
I dare all of you to tell the truth just once.
and then she was gone. Or was pushed, or fell. We'd never agreed on which, and so we'd agreed on nothing, said nothing, done nothing, but let the official story stand.
before,
Marcus found Daniel in the library, standing perfectly still, staring at a photograph on the wall. It was from that summer, all 8 of us, on the back lawn. Lily stood slightly apart, half transparent, like she was already a ghost.
Dan,
Marcus touched his shoulder. Daniel turned, and his eyes were completely white, rolled back in his head. When he spoke, it was in Lily's voice.
You all have such beautiful secrets. Should we share them now?
Then he collapsed, gasping himself again.
What? What happened?
you don't remember?
I was in the tower room, but not now. Then, that night. Lily was there, and she was saying,
He stopped, face pale.
she was saying she knew about the accident.
Marcus went very still.
What accident?
But I knew, we all knew, Daniel's perfect life, his scholarship to Princeton, his early admission, all of it built on the foundation of a hit and run the winter before Lily died. A homeless man, no witnesses except...
She knew.
Daniel whispered.
Somehow she knew. She said the house showed her. Said it showed her all of us, all our sins. And if we didn't tell the truth, she would.
now,
Emma was the next to break. She found us in the kitchen, her hands covered in paint that shouldn't exist. She hadn't brought any supplies.
I was in my old room,
She said, voice hollow.
and I started painting, but I wasn't painting. She was, through me. Look.
She led us upstairs to the room she'd stayed in that summer. The walls were covered in wet paint, still dripping. The same scene over and over. 7 figures in a tower room, 1 figure falling. But from this angle, from this perspective, you could see what we'd all claimed we couldn't see that night. You could see the hands on Lily's back. You could see the push.
Who?
Nate asked, leaning closer. But the faces in the paintings were blurred, interchangeable. It could have been any of us. It could have been all of us.
I think
Emma said slowly.
I think that's the point. We all pushed her, in our own ways.
The tower room then,
Let's play a game.
Lily had said, spinning in the center of the room while we sat in a circle around her.
Truth or dare, but only truth. The house wants to hear your truths.
I dare you to shut up about the house.
Jamie had slurred.
Truth.
Lily had said, stopping her spin to face him.
You killed your brother.
The room had gone silent. Jamie's brother had died in an IED explosion in Afghanistan. But Lily continued, relentless.
You told him to enlist after he caught you with his girlfriend. You said it would make him a real man. You said,
Shut up!
Jamie had lunged at her, but Nate had caught him.
truth.
Lily had turned to Emma.
You're in love with Rebecca, not Marcus. You've been writing her love letters and signing them with his name.
Emma's face had crumbled. Marcus had looked between them, understanding dawning. Truth to Nate.
You set the fire at your father's warehouse for the insurance money.
Truth to Marcus.
You've been stealing from your mother's cancer medication to sell at school.
Truth to me.
You watch us all and write it down, thinking you're separate, thinking you're better, but you're the worst because you see everything and do nothing.
And then to Rebecca, finally, terribly. Truth.
You brought them all here because you hate me, because your grandmother loves me more, because I'm everything you're not, special, gifted, chosen by this house, and you want me gone.
Rebecca had stood up slowly.
You're sick, Lily.
Am I?
Lily had climbed onto the windowsill, balancing like a dancer.
Or am I the only one here who isn't lying?
Now,
Jamie was drinking from a flask he'd hidden in his jacket, hands shaking.
We need to get out. Break a window, climb the fence. I don't care. We need to leave.
The doors are locked.
Nate said. He'd been checking them obsessively.
Windows too, it's like...
Like that night, I finished. When we couldn't leave until morning, until after the police came.
But who locked them?
Daniel asked.
Rebecca? Before she died?
Or whoever killed her.
Marcus said. We all looked at each other, the suspicion thick as smoke. Any of us had reason to want Rebecca dead. She'd been the one to insist we come back. She'd been the one who'd kept investigating Lily's death, who'd never let it rest. But more than that, she'd been the one who'd suggested the game that night. She'd been the one who'd brought us to the tower room. She'd been standing closest to Lily when she fell or was pushed.
There's something else.
Emma said. She held up her phone, showing us a video.
I've been recording everything, documenting it for my art. Look at this.
She played back footage from an hour ago when we'd all been gathered around Rebecca's body. There in the background, barely visible, a figure in white moving through the walls like they weren't there.
That's not possible.
Daniel said.
None of this is possible.
Emma replied.
But it's happening.
the truth then.
I remembered it now, perfectly, the way trauma sometimes comes back all at once, like a dam breaking. Lily on the windowsill, laughing.
You want me gone? All of you want me gone? The house told me. It shows me everything, past, present, future. It showed me this moment 100 times, and every time it ends the same way.
Get down!
Rebecca had pleaded.
Please, just get down.
Why? So you can push me later? So you can make it look like an accident? I know what you've been planning, all of you. The house doesn't lie.
She'd looked at each of us, and in that moment, her eyes were ancient, terrible, knowing.
But here's the truth none of you understand. I'm not the one who dies tonight.
And then, the memory fractured. 7 different versions, 7 different truths. In one, Rebecca rushed forward to grab her, and Lily fell. In another, Jamie pushed past everyone and knocked her off balance. In mine, we all moved at once, a collective surge forward that sent her backward into the night. But in all of them, Lily was smiling as she fell. Now, she's here.
Emma said, and we didn't need to ask who. We could all feel it, the presence that had haunted this house for 15 years waiting for us to return.
Marcus was the first to say it. Rebecca didn't invite us here. Look at the email again.
I pulled out my phone, found the message. The sender's address wasn't Rebecca's. It was lashwood@ashwoodhouse.com. L. Ashwood.
She's been dead for 15 years.
Daniel said. Has she? I asked. Or has she been here in the house, waiting? The lights went out completely then, and in the darkness we heard it. Footsteps above us, in the tower room. The same rhythm as that night. Lily's dancing feet, spinning, spinning, spinning.
We have to go up.
Nate said.
We have to face her.
Fuck that.
Jamie said.
We're not doing this again.
But we were already moving, all 6 of us, drawn by the same invisible thread that had pulled us back to this house. Up the stairs, down the hall, up the spiral staircase, to the tower room where everything had ended and nothing had been resolved. The door was open. Inside, Lily stood by the window, not a ghost, not a memory, but somehow impossibly, terrifyingly real. She looked exactly as she had that night, down to the white dress, the dark hair, the knowing smile.
Hello.
She said,
I've been waiting.
the truth now. You're dead.
Marcus said, clinical even in his terror. We saw you fall. We went to your funeral.
Did you?
Lily tilted her head.
Or did you see what you needed to see? The house has many tricks, many ways of showing what is and what isn't.
She moved toward us, and we backed away instinctively.
Rebecca figured it out, you know. That's why she really came back. She'd been having dreams, seeing the truth, that I never fell, that I climbed down while you all ran downstairs in panic, that I've been here, in the house, all these years, waiting for you to return.
But the body...
Daniel started.
The house provided. It always provides what's needed. A girl who looked enough like me, who died enough like I was supposed to. The house takes care of its own.
You killed Rebecca, I said.
No.
Lily smiled, that terrible, knowing smile.
You did. All of you. With your guilt, your secrets, your inability to face the truth. She came here 3 days early, you know. To prepare, she said. But really to investigate. She found me, and the shock. Well, the heart can only take so much truth at once.
You're insane,
Jamie said.
Am I?
Or am I the only sane one here? I've spent 15 years in this house, learning its secrets, understanding its hunger. It feeds on guilt, on lies, on the stories we tell ourselves to avoid the truth. And you've all been such a feast. She walked to the window, the same window, and pushed it open. The night air rushed in, cold and full of whispers.
Here's what happens now, she said. one of you jumps. Tonight, the house demands it. The story demands it. 7 went up, 1 came down. But we never finished the story properly, did we?
We're not playing your games.
Nate said.
Aren't you? You've been playing since you arrived. And Rebecca already lost.
She smiled wider.
But I'll be fair. I'll give you the same choice I had. Jump or be pushed. Confess your sins or have them confessed for you. Face the truth or become it.
The end.
We stood there, the 6 of us, facing the girl we'd thought we'd killed, the ghost we'd created through our silence and guilt. The house breathed around us, waiting, hungry.
The truth,
I said finally, is that we all wanted you gone. Not dead, but gone. You knew too much, saw too much, threatened too much. And when you stood on that windowsill, part of each of us, some small, dark part, hoped you would jump. The others looked at me, but didn't deny it. The truth?
Marcus said, is that we've been dead since that night too. Walking, talking, breathing, but dead inside. Haunted not by you, but by ourselves.
The truth, Emma added.
is that the house didn't make us this way. We were always capable of this darkness.
Lily listened, her expression unreadable. Then she laughed. Not the wild laugh from that night, but something sadder, older. The truth, she said,
is that I did jump. I chose to jump, knowing what it would do to all of you. Because if I couldn't have a normal life, neither could you. And I've watched from here, from the house, as you've all slowly destroyed yourselves. The guilt has been eating you alive for 15 years.
She looked at Rebecca's empty chair downstairs through the window.
She was the only one who tried to find the truth, the only one who came back to face it, and now she's free.
Free.
Daniel asked.
Dead.
Lily corrected.
Which in this house is just another kind of freedom.
The house groaned around us, wood settling, or something more. In the walls, in the shadows, I could see them, all the others who had died here over the centuries, all the secrets the house had swallowed, all the truths that had never been told. So what now? I asked. Lily walked back to the window.
Now you leave, all of you, leave and never come back. The house has had its fill of you, your guilt, your fear, your lies. It's been feeding on them for 15 years. But Rebecca's death, that's enough. The debt is paid.
And you?
Nate asked.
I stay. I've always stayed. This is my house now, my inheritance.
She smiled, and for a moment she looked like the girl she'd been before that summer, before we'd corrupted her with our friendship, our needs, our darkness.
Go, before I change my mind, before the house gets hungry again.
We didn't need to be told twice. We ran down the stairs, through the hall, to the front door that now stood open, inviting us out into the dawn I hadn't realized was coming. But as we reached the threshold, I looked back. Lily stood at the top of the stairs, but she wasn't alone. Rebecca was there too, translucent but smiling, finally at peace. And behind them, in the windows, in the doorways, in every shadow, the house watched with 1,000 eyes. The truth,
Lily called after us, is that every house is haunted by the living, by the dead, by the choices we make and the ones we don't. You're free of this house now, but you'll never be free of what happened here.
the door slammed shut behind us. We stood in the garden, the 6 of us, as the sun rose over Ashwood House. We didn't speak, There was nothing to say that hadn't already been said, no truth that hadn't been revealed, no guilt that hadn't been acknowledged. One by one, we left. No goodbyes, no promises to keep in touch. We knew we'd never see each other again. Some ghosts you live with, others you leave behind. But as I reached my car, I found a note tucked under the windshield wiper. Lily's handwriting, though how she'd put it there, I couldn't say. The house remembers everything. And sometimes, on quiet nights, it tells stories about the 7 friends who came to visit and the 2 who stayed behind. One by choice, one by chance, both by necessity.
The story isn't over. Stories like this never really end. They just wait for the next group of friends to arrive.
I drove away without looking back, but in the rearview mirror I could swear I saw them, Lily and Rebecca, standing in the tower window, waving. Or warning, I suppose. In houses like Ashwood, there isn't much difference between the two.